Hello, hi guys, welcome again to my YouTube channel. Kindly like, subscribe, share, and comment. Make sure you hit that notification bell so that every single time we post a new episode, you're up to date. Okay, now, do you know those kind of people who just never live your life for real? Like they never exit. Even when it's time for them to leave, like really leave, they don't go. They just hang around. Yeah, so that's our topic for today. We're talking about exes. Now, who is an ex? An ex is anyone who you have already removed from a current, as in the position has changed from now to then, from front to back. Okay? You understand? So it's something that has to deal with your past, something that uh, has that is connected to some memories, that is connected to some emotions that you might or might not want to remember. So when I talk about exes, I want to talk about exes that, and in exes, I am speaking generally about friends, about family, about relationships, all this. They all have exes, and in this this episode, I want to focus more on family and relationships, because our friendships of these days, there are no real friendships, because people have decided that they go after their heart desires first, and then friendships will just follow, because people don't really care about being honest, about being trustworthy, about being faithful, about being loyal. Loyalty is no longer a virtue among human beings. People have taken friendship for granted, family for granted, um, business for granted, relationships for granted. So that is what we're talking about, exes. Now, when it comes to family, there are those families that that uncle or that auntie who did something very wicked to you when you needed them the most. It might have been when you were a child. Maybe you had daddy abandonment issues, or maybe mommy abandonment issues, and maybe you needed someone who could fill the spot and be a mom or a dad to you, and then they just decided to become your stepmother and just decided to be wicked to you. That kind of an ex, because that is also an ex. That might still be your aunt, connected by blood, but there's no emotion, because all the memories you have are of that person torturing you and doing bad things to you. And then there's friends who become exes. These are the kind of friends that betray you. Might not just be with your boyfriend or your girlfriend. It may also be when it comes to business. It may also be, and when I talk about business, these are the same friends that you give loans to and they don't pay back, or you give something on credit that involves your business and they don't pay for it at all, because they say we're friends. These are people who take advantage of your friendship. Okay. And now when it comes to relationship, these are people that you've been with, but it didn't work out. Things didn't work out, so you never ended up together. Now, and their exes and then their feelings. Please differentiate these two things. Don't mix them. A relationship that only lasted 2 or less than 4 months, that does not qualify to be an ex. He or she doesn't qualify to join the list. Okay, because but someone who knows you for four months doesn't know you. That person cannot have known you well. And if you think you and your boyfriend or your man know each other well 4 months into the relationship, then darling, you're in for a treat. Because wait until the relationship is at 6 months. That is when you start fighting. That is when things just start happening that you notice and you never noticed in the first place. That is when things become real at 6 months. And then at 1 year, you realize deep secrets about this person that you don't know if you're able to live with, because you've already passed the 6 months. Now we're dealing with 1 year. And then after 1 year, and 6 months, now you realize this kind of person has something. There's one thing I don't like about this person, but there's another thing that I totally love about this person. Now you start weighing your options. Now you see, at this point, you know the weaknesses and the strengths of this person, which means you have a rough or a good idea about who this person is. And then now at 2 years, you actually know this person well. Because at this point, I am telling you for free, if I was pretending and it's already 2 years past, I would have been way long tired of pretending. So at this point, both the man and the lady, they come forward. Actually, for a woman, you can't pretend for long. Women can't fake for long. A woman can't stay with you for more than 6 months if she's not serious about the relationship, because she's always going to keep her options open. So she's always going to get a better offers out there. And if at all she has something that will distract her, she won't have time. She won't have the time that you guys need to bond or to even get to that level of 1 year. So the woman gives up first. That is if she's not interested in the relationship or she notices red signs. Again, women make sure that at the slightest notice of any red signs, they step out, because once you're in love, once you like someone, in fact, these days it's not even about the love, it's about liking someone. You are so hell bent on working it out because you are just so tired of getting to know new people and then seeing a red sign and then leaving them, and then you have to work out another person, start dating, and the process, it's tiresome. It's tiresome. Men actually think it's fun, maybe because of the dates and the lunches and the everything. Yes, we post photos and things, but the feeling I used to get when I used to be taken to the first few dates by the first two or three guys is not the feeling I'll have when I go to the dates with the fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh guy. It won't be the same feeling, because at that point you realize, is there a problem with me? Is there something wrong with me? What's not happening? And that's for a woman. And then for a man, a man can pretend up to at 2 years. Yeah, but that is the maximum. So most of them break around 1 year, 7 months, or 1 year, because a man can really, really try so hard to make it work, especially if he thinks you're a catch. And when I say a catch, I mean you like the wife material or the long time kind. Yeah. So he can try to be what you want. But the problem is, when a man loves you, he tries to be what you want him to be. Okay, let me explain this. I have a friend who was dating and they fell in love with this guy, and they were in the relationship for a very long time, for 2 years and 3 months. And this lady really, really wanted this guy to propose. And this guy was head over heels in love with this lady. And she was pretty and everything, and she has money. She can take care of herself. So it wasn't even about the money or anything. But now this guy decided to propose to her. That was magical. It was wonderful. And the lady was very happy. But after 3 months, the guy was rethinking his decision about marrying her. Why would you think? Do you think it would happen so that they would date for 2 years, 3 months for them to realize that they're not meant to be? Okay, for the guy to realize. And do you know what happened? This guy loved this lady too much that he had to do what this lady wanted all along just to impress her. So he was not proposing because he wants to propose. He was proposing because he wanted to see his woman happy. And most probably, this lady was pushing him to do this. Women, let me tell you this. You always go wrong when it comes to this. Don't tell a man to propose to you. Don't ever ask a man to come to your home. Anyone who's ready will come. Anyone who's ready will come. Trust me. Because there are men who go to your homes 3 months after the relationship. There are men who will go after 5 years. There are men who will go after you have 7 kids. People are different. Don't rush your blessing. You may turn it into a curse. And as I was saying, for men, it's different. A man can stay up to 2 years without actually revealing things about him, deep things. So at 6 months, you start noticing things that you might or might not like. So that is the high time for you to run. If you have noticed anything that you cannot tolerate about this guy, at 6 months, run. Because you don't know what is at 2 years. Whatever you see at 6 months, at 2 years is much more. Okay? Now, when it comes to the flings, now, the ones that don't qualify to be your exes, I want you to include the list of every other guy you've ever tried dating, whether or not you guys, you might have shacked or not. It doesn't matter. As long as it was less than 4 months, that does not qualify. It does not qualify to be a relationship. That was never your ex. He was never your ex. She was never your ex. That was a fling. Now there's a fling and then there's a one night stand. Now the difference is one night stand is a stranger. Then the fling is a non-stranger. The difference isn't that big. But that is this now that is like how it happens these days. From a night stand to a non-stranger to a relationship and then a breakup. Of course, if you start with that path, you cannot expect something long lasting. Anyways, I hope that you have had something, at least you've had something that has brightened up your day and has added knowledge to you. It has been me, your loyal and your entertainer, Mercy. Thank you very much for watching and stay tuned. Bye. Mwah.